Think everyone should have equal rights?
Most definitely. I mean, that's just a silly question. What era are we living in here? I think rights are not something that any human being can bestow. They're a gift from God, and no country should have the ability to either bestow those rights or take them away, as what our founding fathers believed with the spirit of the Declaration of Independence, as well as the promises of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So, most definitely, rights are inherent from a higher power.
What do you think about the gay society?
Just the whole thing about saying a gay society, I think is unfortunate because it separates them from regular society, whereas gay people are every bit a part of regular society as everybody else. Being gay in no means makes them bad people or deviants from society or separate from it. It is a lifestyle that is not mainstream. That's true, if we can say that. But at the same time, we have gay individuals who are very productive parts of our society. Productive or not, they are here among us. And to just separate into gay society and normal societies, to me, seems ridiculous. Divisive. It's just one society, and gay people are part of that, just like straight people.
Do you believe gays should have equal rights such as marriage?
Another ridiculous question, just like the first one. How can I say you shouldn't do something when it doesn't affect me one bit, it doesn't harm me one bit? I mean, for crying out loud, even if I were to think that marriage had to be between a man and a woman, how am I to force those beliefs upon other people and have a clear conscience, thinking that I'm doing the right thing, when what they're doing has no effect on my life whatsoever, in any regard? And how could I even possibly make the argument that what a gay couple is doing could somehow harm the institution of marriage? How could 2% of the population have an effect on such a vast majority? Number one. Number two, how could two people who love each other but happen to be of the same sex harm the institution in any way when you have people committing adultery who do plenty of harm themselves to the institution? I mean, we go after two people who are the same sex who love each other, and yet they say nothing of those who are adulterers just because they are of opposite sex. Love is love. And it's not for me or anybody else to cast a brand upon who is to love whom.
Final question. Why do you think young men, young women suicide because they don't feel equal? Why do you think they suicide just because they're gay and they don't want to come out?
Well, we've come a long way in society, but there unfortunately still is a stigma against gays in our society. There's still a stigma against those who choose alternate lifestyles. I have a friend who wants to become a woman. He's in the process of doing so. And he's finding it very awkward at the moment, making the transition because, well, society's not used to such a change. And this is where getting psychiatric or psychological help for such people who are going through such emotional distress, or at the very least difficulties, is so very important. I mean, it's difficult transitioning when somebody comes out of a closet. You come out of the closet into the world and say, this is who I really am. People who thought they knew you before all of a sudden look at you differently because you're being honest with them about who you really are. It may not be easy for those around the person coming out, but at the same time, it's necessary. But with this transition does come pain. And so, with this pain, this stigma in society when people look at others differently just because they are different, because it is a minority of people who are gay. Unfortunately, so many feel the world's being crushed, I would assume. Feel their friends, former friends, turn their backs on them. Maybe even family members turn their backs on them and feel no hope left. And my only message to such people is that it's what my mother told me a long time ago, is that there's nothing so bad in this world that it can't get better.